You have to wonder, is the South Pole some kind of...
With tireless dedication, scientists have finally unlocked one of Antarctica's most thrilling mysteries.
Maybe something had crashed here.
A hidden portal within an ancient pyramid. But what does this discovery mean? And where might this portal lead?
10% of the ice is above the surface and the other 90% is below the surface.
From uncovering UFO sightings in Antarctica,
he's asked me to call him only,
to decoding a massive feature found in the icy sea. This journey is packed with revelations that could reshape our understanding of history. Let's dive in. 1. UFOs spotted in Antarctica. You might think working at a remote research station like McMurdo in Antarctica is all about ice cores and penguin counts. But for one retired US Navy flight engineer, it was the backdrop to something straight out of a sci-fi thriller. Nestled on the southern tip of Ross Island, McMurdo Station is the continent's largest hub of scientific hustle and bustle, established way back in 1956. At its peak, it's bustling with up to 1,200 residents braving the cold to uncover Earth's coldest secrets. Brian, who's opted to keep his last name under wraps, spent 14 hardy years with the Antarctic Development Squadron and, oh, the tales he can tell. From 1983 until his retirement in 1997, Brian's routine missions across the icy expanse veered into the unexplained and downright eerie. Picture this: silver, round objects zipping around the peaks of the Transantarctic Mountains. These weren't just flashes in the pan. They performed complex maneuvers that would leave any seasoned pilot scratching their head before they vanished into thin air. But that's not where the mystery ends. Imagine being in the middle of a critical medical emergency, your flight path diverted across a supposed no-fly zone. That's exactly what happened to Brian and his crew. As they crossed this off-limits airspace, they stumbled upon a massive slanted entrance in the ice, an opening about 200 feet across. The closer they got, the more their instruments spun out of control, thanks to some intense magnetic anomalies. After they managed to complete their emergency mission and land safely back at base, things took a turn for the secretive. Unidentified men were suddenly on their case, warning them never to speak of the area or fly over it again. What were they trying to hide? This isn't the first time whispers of hidden portals in Antarctica have surfaced. The legendary Admiral Richard Byrd reportedly encountered a large, ice-free area during his 1947 expedition, which he claimed led to an underground world. The intrigue only deepened when he was allegedly debriefed and ordered to remain silent about what he saw. Could Antarctica be hiding gateways to ancient secrets or even extraterrestrial entry points? It's a chilling thought that such mysteries are all in a day's work at McMurdo Station. 2. Pyramids found beneath Antarctic ice. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and nowhere is this more apparent than in the icy expanses of Antarctica, where a recent satellite image has thrown the internet into a frenzy. This image reveals a massive triangular structure, similar in size and shape to Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza, nestled among the remote Ellsworth Mountains. With each side of the base stretching up to 2 kilometers, this discovery has sparked not just interest, but a whole host of conspiracy theories. Found in the southern part of the Ellsworth Range, these peculiar peaks are peeking out from beneath the ice, drawing all sorts of wild speculation. Could this be an ancient wonder? A relic of a time when Antarctica was warm, possibly dating back over 10,000 years. The theories have ranged from tales of hidden societies to long-lost civilizations and even artificial creations. But before you get too carried away, let's turn to the facts. According to geologist Dr. Mitch Darcy, what we're seeing isn't a man-made marvel, but a natural phenomenon known as a nunatak, a mountain peak that projects above an ice sheet. The striking pyramid-like shape is simply a coincidence, a product of natural forces sculpting the 350-kilometer-long Ellsworth Mountains, which Lincoln Ellsworth first charted during his 1935 trans-Antarctic flight. This region, notorious for its brutal climate, where temperatures plunge to around 30 degrees, is part of the rugged Ron ice shelf. Due to its harsh conditions, it falls under Chilean Antarctic claims and offers just a brief window for exploration from November to January. So, while the pyramid-like formation continues to stir imaginations worldwide, experts affirm it's a spectacular testament to nature's artistry, rather than a footprint of ancient architects. The high, icy walls of the Ellsworth Mountains remain one of Antarctica's most dramatic landscapes, constantly captivating explorers and researchers with their majestic and mysterious allure. Isn't it incredible how nature can sometimes mirror our most fantastical imaginations? Speaking of imagination, doesn't it feel strange to even consider a phenomenon in Antarctica that could unalive anything it comes into contact with? It definitely does. Check out this next one. 3. The finger of death in Antarctica that freezes everything it touches. Back in 2011, the BBC's Frozen Planet series did just that beneath the icy shields of Antarctica's sea. What they captured wasn't just any icy phenomenon, but a brinacle in action, a rare spectacle indeed. Dubbed the Finger of Death, this icy structure spells doom as it descends through the water, freezing everything it encounters, from unsuspecting sea urchins to starfish going about their day. Imagine being a sea creature and seeing this icy specter creeping towards you. Leading this frosty expedition were producer Katherine Jeffs and her daring cameramen Hugh Miller and Doug Anderson. Their mission? To film the elusive brinacle, a feat never before accomplished. Braving sub-zero temperatures as low as 2 degrees, 28 degrees, the team plunged into the icy depths. It was no walk in the park, navigating tight spaces between the seabed and the overhanging ice, all while lugging around hefty filming gear. So, how does this frosty finger form? It starts when seawater freezes, rejecting its salt content and producing a supercooled, dense brine. This brine then sinks, and upon meeting the slightly warmer waters below, it freezes them on contact, creating an advancing tube of ice reaching down to the ocean floor. It spreads out as it hits the bottom, freezing everything in its deadly grip. The team's dedication to capturing the brinacle in action was nothing short of heroic. They set up time-lapse cameras to record its slow but deadly dance over several hours. Hugh Miller couldn't hide his excitement. We were jumping up and down when they finally picked the gliders up because it's been a long time. Their incredible footage offered a never-before-seen look into the formation of brinicles and their impact on the Antarctic marine ecosystem, highlighting the resilience of life under the ice. After witnessing such a mesmerizing but deadly display of nature's power, what could possibly top the finger of death? Stick around and you might just find out. 4. What created this massive Antarctic feature? Navigating the frozen landscapes of McMurdo, explorers are often struck by an impressive natural structure that juts dramatically out of the ice. Spanning 7 miles, this jagged ice formation, known as an ice tongue, looks as if it has been sculpted by a colossal force, suggesting a dramatic event took place here. And indeed, its location ties it to one of the most heart-rending aviation incidents in history. On a seemingly ordinary morning on November 28, 1979, Air New Zealand Flight 901 left Auckland Airport at 7:21 a.m., bound for a scenic journey over Antarctica. The skies were clear and the crew reported excellent visibility, which was a promising start. However, as they approached Mount Erebus, an optical illusion known as a whiteout played a cruel trick, with the landscape cloaked in a blanket of white. Distinguishing between the glacier below and the clouds above became impossible. At 12:49 p.m., the serene flight turned tragic as the aircraft collided with Mount Erebus, resulting in the instantaneous loss of all 257 people aboard. The crew's last moments were unimaginably sudden as the mountain loomed unexpectedly before them. The curious structure in McMurdo Sound intrigued analyst Mark D'Antonio, who noticed something unusual in the images, a massive furrow that appeared more like an uplift than a simple mark on the ice. This anomaly drew further scrutiny from Dr. Kelly Brunt, a NASA scientist, who ventured into the icy expanse to get a closer look. Upon examination, Dr. Brunt shed light on the enigma. The formation is not the aftermath of the crash, but a rare natural phenomenon. Known as an ice tongue, this feature forms when millions of tons of ice flow from the base of Mount Erebus into the sea. Towering like a silent sentinel, about 10% of this ice wall is visible above the surface, while the rest remains hidden beneath the waves. This towering structure serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable and often perilous beauty of Antarctica's landscape. Isn't it fascinating how nature can sculpt such monumental structures, each with a story to tell? Let's dive into another mysterious case next and uncover more wonders together. 5. Antarctic glacier is bleeding. Who knew something as scientific as a waterfall could give off major horror movie vibes? Welcome to Antarctica's Blood Falls, a chilling spectacle that has puzzled the brightest minds for over a century. Nestled in the McMurdo Dry Valleys, this crimson cascade paints a stark contrast against the pristine white of the surrounding ice, flowing eerily from the Taylor Glacier. Discovered back in 1911 by geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor, Blood Falls got its name from the unsettling red hue of its water. Originally, folks thought red algae might be the culprit behind the color, but let's just say that theory didn't hold water, especially considering the region chills at an average temperature of nearly 19 degrees C. It was baffling to think how any liquid here could escape the icy grip of freezing. Fast forward to 2003, and the mystery begins to unravel. Thanks to some nifty radio echo sounding technology by researchers from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, it turns out the secret to the fall's flow is its saltiness. The water's salt concentration is so high, double that of the local seawater, that it just can't freeze. This super salty water, or brine, not only stays liquid, but also has a trick up its sleeve. As it freezes, it releases heat, warming the surrounding ice just enough to keep moving in conditions that would typically be a full stop for anything else. But why red? Well, that's where iron comes into play. The brine is rich in iron, which, upon hitting the air, oxidizes and goes full artist's palette on us, splashing shades of red, orange, and brown across the ice. This water is like a time capsule from 1.5 million years ago, originally part of a saltwater lake that got trapped beneath the glacier. Over millennia, it's been making its great escape through Blood Falls. Today, Taylor Glacier holds the title for the coldest glacier on Earth known to have persistently flowing water. It's a mind-boggling blend of chemistry, physics, and geology right here on our own planet. Isn't nature full of surprises? What other secrets do you think are hidden away in Earth's coldest corners? 6. Hidden Lake, Whillans. Ever stumbled across something incredible when you least expect it? Well, that's precisely what happened to Dr. Helen Fricker, a glaciologist at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography back in 2007. While analyzing satellite laser altimeter data from NASA's ICSat, she noticed something that piqued her curiosity: unusual rising and falling patterns in the ice surface of Antarctica's Whillans ice stream. This was no small hiccup in the data. It hinted at something much bigger hiding beneath, a subglacial lake buried under a whopping 800 meters, 2,600 feet, of ice. This mysterious body of water, later christened Lake Whillans, sprawls over about 60 square kilometers, 20 square miles, and has an average depth sitting around 2 meters, 7 feet. Curious to unravel the secrets of this hidden lake, the Whillans Ice Stream Subglacial Access Research Drilling WISARD project was born, uniting scientists from 8 U.S. universities and 2 international institutions. Fast forward to January 2013, after years of meticulous planning and anticipation, the WISARD team was finally ready to crack the icy seal. They employed a state-of-the-art hot water drill to bore a hole 30 centimeters, 12 inches, across straight through the ice. It took 3 relentless days, but by January 28, 2013, they had successfully penetrated the 800-meter ice barrier to kiss the lake's surface. The moment of truth came when they deployed a clever little NASA-designed gadget, the Micro-Submersible Lake Exploration Device. This mini-submarine is the size and shape of a baseball bat, but instead of hitting homers, it's packed with hydrological chemical sensors and a high-resolution imaging system. This tiny explorer transmitted real-time data and snapshots back to the surface, giving the team their first mesmerizing glance at the lake floor. And, oh, what a sight it was! The lake wasn't just a frozen relic, but teeming with life. Over 3,900 types of microorganisms were thriving in the pitch-dark, frigid waters, relying on chemical processes like the oxidation of ammonia and methane to fuel their existence. This bustling microbial metropolis offered us a glimpse into the robust ecosystems that flourish beneath the Antarctic ice sheet. The success of the WISARD project not only marked a monumental leap in Antarctic exploration, but also opened the floodgates to new research on microbial life in extreme conditions. This could even shed light on potential life forms in similar icy nooks across the solar system, like on the moons orbiting Jupiter and Saturn. Who would have thought that a locked-away lake could tell us so much about life's possibilities in the cosmos? If that's not enough to drop your jaw, the next one will certainly do. 7. Antarctopelta dinosaur. Who says dinosaurs are just a thing of movies and theme parks? Sometimes real life digs up something even Spielberg couldn't dream up. Let's travel back to January 1986, when Argentine geologists Eduardo Olivero and Roberto Scasso were not just chilling, but actually working on James Ross Island, off the northeastern tip of the Antarctic Peninsula. These guys were there to poke around the sedimentary formations of the island, but what they found would make history. Olivero and Scasso weren't just looking at any old rocks. They were studying the gamma member of the Santa Marta Formation, which dates all the way back to the late Cretaceous period, about 70 million years ago. During their fieldwork, in a twist worthy of a Hollywood plot, they stumbled upon something extraordinary: the fossilized remains of a dinosaur. That's right, the very first dinosaur ever discovered on the icy continent of Antarctica. Finding a dinosaur in Antarctica is tricky business. The fossils were scattered over a 6 square meter area and had been through a lot, thanks to the region's harsh freeze-thaw cycles. This left the dinosaur bones fragmented and made the excavation a real challenge. Over the next decade, the team's dedication shone through as they collected and studied the fossil fragments. They unearthed parts of the skull and jaw, teeth, various vertebrae, elements of the shoulder and hip girdles, a femur, and even fragments of the hands and feet. And here's a kicker: osteoderms. Those are bony armor plates that were part of this dinosaur's defense gear. In 2006, paleontologists Leonardo Salgado and Zulma Gasparini officially introduced the world to Antarctopelta oliveroi, a new genus and species named in honor of Eduardo Olivero. Antarctopelta means Antarctic shield, and oliveroi is a nod to Olivero's crucial role in this discovery. This dino wasn't just any dinosaur. It was an armored ankylosaur around 4 meters long, with a noggin sporting proportionally large teeth and even spikes above its eyes. The spine setup was also interesting. Short and circular vertebrae held up its neck and back. In contrast, elongated and flattened ones supported its tail, which probably ended in a spiky arrangement of osteoderms, sort of like an ancient weapon. This discovery didn't just add a cool dinosaur to our records. It gave us precious insights into the types of creatures roaming Antarctica millions of years ago during the late Cretaceous. So, the next time you think of dinosaurs, remember that they've been found in some of the most unexpected places on Earth. And if that's not enough to keep you hooked, wait till you hear about the time scientists found. 8. A treasure trove of meteorites in Antarctica. You might think Antarctica is just about penguins and ice, but it's also a goldmine for meteorite hunters. With nearly 50,000 space rocks already picked up from its icy expanse, experts believe there could be hundreds of thousands more just waiting to be found. These aren't any rocks. They're the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the solar system's evolution. Take, for example, that piece of the moon found chilling out on the ice. It tells a tale of cosmic journeys, showing us that material from far-off celestial bodies can indeed make its way to Earth. But while we're pulling about 1,000 meteorites from the Antarctic ice each year, a recent study in the Nature Climate Change suggests that around 5,000 may be slipping out of sight annually thanks to rising temperatures. So, how does a bit of warming affect the hunt for these extraterrestrial treasures? Researchers like Harry Zicalari and Veronica Tolinar have been piecing together the puzzle. They've created a model factoring in snow cover, surface temperatures, ice flow, and how steep the terrain is. Their simulations show that as the mercury climbs, meteorites start sinking into the ice, getting buried further, out of our reach, and potentially lost forever. The prime spots for meteorite spotting are usually near mountain bases or where fierce winds have blown the snow away, exposing ancient blue ice. This ice doesn't just melt, it sublimates, turning directly into vapor. But here's a plot twist. Meteorites that bask too long in the sunlight start to melt the ice around them. Once the temps drop back down, these meteorites get stuck in their icy sinkholes, making them even tougher to retrieve. With current trends, the researchers project that a third of these visible meteorites could disappear under the ice by the end of this century. We're talking about a potential loss of between 80,000 and 250,000 meteorites. Among these could be rarities from Mars, like the famous ALH 84001, which hints at Mars' warmer, wetter past. The pristine condition of these Antarctic finds also makes them invaluable for studying conditions of the early solar system, like how water was distributed in a way that might have set the stage for Earth's oceans. To save these space relics from becoming part of the ice's permanent collection, folks like Ralph Harvey from Case Western Reserve University are calling for more boots on the ground. By focusing on the hotspots identified in these studies, we can salvage a precious archive of space history before it's buried by climate change. Who knew that meteorites could tell us so much about where we all come from? That being said, let's dive into number 9 to discover another intriguing find in Antarctica. 9. Rapid ice movement of Antarctic monitored under UK polar base. Who says ice can't be dramatic? We're talking about a vast floating Antarctic ice sheet, home to the UK's Hawley Research Station, zipping along the Brunt ice shelf faster than usual. In 2023, this ice spectacle wasn't just a winter wonderland, but a scientific thriller. After a couple of gigantic icebergs calved, namely A74 in 2021 and A81 early in 2023, things started to get a bit more exciting. A74, a massive 1,300 square kilometer piece of ice, broke away without much fuss. But when A81 said goodbye, it left the Brunt ice shelf skating over the ocean without a key pinning point on the seafloor, cranking up its annual drift from a leisurely 400-800 meters to a whopping 1,500 meters by August 2023. Now, with the ice shelf thinning and new cracks appearing, especially around the crucial grounding line where ice meets the sea, you might wonder about the fate of Halley Research Station. Despite these dramatic shifts, there's no immediate peril looming over the unoccupied base. Since winter operations wrapped up 7 years ago, the station now only hosts summer staff. November 2023 saw about 40 crew members rolling back to Halley along with a supply ship, ready to tackle the icy elements, assuming the ice shelf behaves itself. Keeping an eye on the entire frosty drama, the British Antarctic Survey insisted that stability is key before any extended encores at Halley. Diving deeper into the icy archives, this part of the Antarctic has been a star since the 1950s, contributing to monumental discoveries like the ozone hole in the 1980s. And despite current theatrics, the shelf's acceleration isn't tied to climate change. A real plot twist. No sinister atmospheric or oceanic villains here, just pure icy dynamics at play. As scientists hold their breath, hoping for the ice to thicken and reattach firmly to the seafloor, Halley's saga could stabilize into a safe, secure platform for continued research. Who knows what secrets the Brunt ice shelf will reveal next as it glides through the cold waters of the Weddell Sea. Stay tuned, because if the ice can keep its cool, the next chapter could be just as gripping. 10. NASA discovers incredibly rectangular iceberg in Antarctica. Ever had one of those moments when nature just blows your mind with its artistry? Well, grab your coats, because what happened down in the icy realms of Antarctica is about to give you the chills in the best way possible. We're talking about an iceberg so precisely rectangular that it looks like it was sculpted by laser-guided tools rather than by the whims of Mother Nature. This spectacle made its big splash in the headlines when NASA tweeted a photo that left everyone awestruck. Captured by Jeremy Harbeck, a senior support scientist during Operation Icebridge's routine aerial survey. This iceberg was not your typical chunk of ice. Floating in the chilly waters of the Weddell Sea, this tabular iceberg seemed freshly snapped off an ice shelf, showcasing nature's uncanny ability to play architect. Now, you might be wondering, what's Operation Icebridge? Well, launched back in 2009, this ongoing mission keeps a watchful eye on polar ice changes, a vital pulse check on the health of our planet's chilly extremities, and the star of our story. It's a rare spectacle, even among its commonly geometric brethren known as tabular icebergs. These icebergs, also dubbed ice islands, are the behemoths of the iceberg world, boasting sharp vertical sides and flat tops. What sets our rectangular friend apart are its unbelievably perfect right angles, a geometric anomaly that even Harbeck himself found stunning. He admitted he'd seen straight-edged icebergs before, but nothing quite like this, with corners so sharp they could almost give you a paper cut. Hovering nearby was the A68, a Delaware-sized iceberg, one of the largest recorded, which broke away from the Larsen C ice shelf in 2017. With an impressive area of over 2,200 square miles, the A68 is no stranger to the spotlight. Yet, on this particular day, the smaller rectangular iceberg stole the show. Harbeck, initially more focused on the massive A68, found the rectangular iceberg so photogenic that he couldn't help but snap a few memorable shots. Further exploration revealed that this area was scattered with tabular icebergs lurking in the vast shadow of the gigantic A68. Though not perfect in its shape, our rectangular iceberg still commanded attention, showcasing how dynamic and unexpectedly artistic the natural world can be. What do you think about this discovery? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries like this one. Hit the bell icon to stay updated so you'll never miss an adventure into the unknown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next exploration.